Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the conference of the Global Apparel Sourcing Expo. This expo is organized by IAF and its partners, 4Source and Sourcing Journal. My name is Matthijs Guité. I'm Secretary General of the IAF, the International Apparel Federation, which unites global industry associations from countries from all continents to promote and to stimulate stronger, smarter, and more sustainable supply chains. Now it's my honor and pleasure to announce to you our speaker of this session. Our speaker is the esteemed Dr. Padmasree Shaktivel, who is chairman of the AEPC, the Apparel Export Promotion Council of India. It will be highly interesting to hear from the chairman of AEPC his vision on the development of the exports of the major industry of India, the apparel industry, and particularly the way it is faring under this global crisis, the COVID-19 crisis. So it is now time to turn to Mr. Shaktivel and ask you some questions that will hopefully enlighten us and our listeners. Mr. Shaktivel, welcome to.
Hello, good morning. How are you? Nice seeing you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, before I'll go into the details of our industry, may I ask you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
About myself, yeah. My name is, as you introduced, Shaktivel. I belong to a place called Tirupur in southern India, where it's a knitwear capital of the world. For my company, it is called Poppies Knitwear. We have started very low capital. That is, those days we have invested about $1,000 US. My company started with that. Now our group turnover is 220, or you can say 200 million US dollars. So my capital to $1,000 to now we do about 200 US billion dollars. We grow with the hard work, and this is my personal company, that is Poppies Knitwear. As my public life is more, I'm involved for last nearly 40 years. I have involved in the Apparel Export Promotion Council. I'm a board member for last nearly 40 years. This is the fourth time I'm taking over as chairman of Apparel Export Promotion. This Apparel Export Promotion Council has got about 8,000 exporter members in India, and we are, I can say it's a semi-government body. We are part of the Ministry of Textile, Government of India. We work with the Government of India for export policy, port policy, and other related issues. And we are bridge between exporters and the government. So, as I said that because I'm serving to the trade and exporters, I've been awarded Padmasree by the Government of India. It is one of the very prestigious award. So I'm happy that I've been awarded that. Other than that, now recently I've taken over chairman of APC. Now, with a very crucial time I've taken over. When I took over in January, it was everything is good, very pleasant. But in the end of, I can say beginning of March, then this COVID has come. So this is my personal bit of it.
Thank you very much, and that's truly quite impressive. Both your private company and your public work. So I think some people would say, we wish we would have invested in your company when you started it. That would have been a good return. So thank you very much for that. I think we would very much like to hear, maybe first taking the COVID-19 crisis out of the picture a little bit. What were the plans for the promotion of the Indian apparel exports before this crisis hit?
Yeah, when I took over as chairman in month of January this year, we have export promotion division, that is we call the EP division. So we all sat together. I said how to increase the export out of India. Then we did the big research on it. So we have actually taken the HS code of China to other countries, what they export. And also like from Cambodia, Vietnam, and other things also we have taken the HS code. And also we took the HS code, the biggest importing countries, mainly USA, Europe, and Canada. So we find that Indian export is, our export is only 88% is cotton garments.
Yeah.
Only 12% is man-made fiber garments. Then I told my office that now with this detail with us, we have to start working for promoting the man-made fiber garments. Then I find that man-made fiber garment, India has got a plenty of yarn and fiber. We are second in line to produce these fibers, whether it's viscose or polyester. We have got a sufficient. Then I said, why we are not able to do it? Then we found out that traditionally we started with cotton, and we are happy with the cotton garments. So the buyers also, they're coming, they were thinking about India means cotton. So then I told my people that we have to change this because when we have a rich in our fiber and polyester yarn, so we should also go in for the man-made fiber garments. Then we find that everything is there, but we don't have the real fine fabric, especially in the sportswear, loungewear, performance fabric. So these are the exercise wear. So if you name anything, it's all man-made fiber with kind of some finish. So we find that it's a processing is weak in India. So we should have a good processing house, or we have a good processing house only for the cotton. So we should get some joint venture for doing our fabric side. So this is the exercise we were doing before the COVID.
Yeah.
Then the COVID came. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you very much. That's very interesting, and you can see that diversification is a strategy that that is actually, I think, getting more important with the luck, or I would say with the fortuitous position for India, that you say that basically a lot of the foundations are already there.
Yes.
So it is not as if you have to create an entirely new industry as in some countries. So that is good news. So thank you for that. But yeah, we have to come back to, unfortunately, the COVID-19 situation. What are the APC's plans to deal with this?
See, when the COVID came in, then we really got a shock because our industry is most affected industry. The sense it is international, and the buyers, the big stores, all they're closed, and they were not able to take the orders which we have shipped, and they want us to hold the goods. So it's a big financial crisis, plus mentally we are all upset. Then slowly, then we started talking to the buyers. And here I should appreciate our Honorable Minister of Textile. She made an appeal to the international buyers that patient commerce is the important. So with the relationship with us, please honor the commitment. Maybe you can postpone the payment and take the goods little later, and don't cancel the orders. So with that appeal, definitely and also APC as a chairman, I also wrote all imported buyers and also big stores that do not cancel it, because we were thinking about our relationship for last 30 years. We should help us out to come out. Especially, I told them that see that the again our issues in our government is we do with a minimum profit. If you see that our profit range is 5 to 6%, whereas our labor cost is around 25%. So then I explain to the buyers, if you don't pay the for the goods, what you have taken or what is in the pipeline, then you will have a problem with the payment of wages. So laborers will be suffering. They understood the importance of the labor. Then I could say that I should hats off to the buyers. Most of the buyers, they came forward. They said, yes, we will take the goods, but with some kind of a stagnation period, 2 months, 3 months. And now I could say that most of the buyers honor that commitment. And we find that really it's a good situation for India. Then again, I should appreciate our honorable minister's initiative. Our honorable minister, along with our secretary textile, they found that there is a PPE, that's personal protective garments, is a requirement of India, because India is also suffering with the COVID. So when in March 5th or 6th, our production of PPE garments may be 1,000 pieces or 2,000 pieces a day all over India. You can imagine. They put the effort, then they talk to APC, APC talk to our fellow exporters. Now, you don't believe, today we are manufacturing 8 lakh pieces per day. So 1,000, 2,000 pieces too. We have increased that. Then we find that it's not only domestic market, there is a huge international market. So now, before asking the government, we said now the mask is one thing that the whole world wants it. It's a non-medical mask should be allowed to export, because there was a ban immediately by the government of India that when there is a COVID there, the mask and everything should not be exported. Then with our request, government realized that it's a non-medical mask can be exported. They lift the ban, and huge orders are going from India. And you know that now the mask is a part of a style now, especially for the ladies. They want to match with the handbag, they want to match with the chappals, they want to match with everything. So it's become a fashion garment that it's good for us, because we are able to produce all natural fibers, especially in cotton, silk, other cotton silk, cotton pearls, so all kind of thing. And we are already good in prints and embroidery. So we see the mask market is a huge now, with a lot of fashion in it, embroideries, printing, and different kind of stitches. Then they want a skin color mask. So all these things that India could utilize it, and we started exporting that. So that's a good chance for us, because even though other goods are not going, the mask started going a big way. Then we realized that we reached the point where we have fulfilled all the domestic requirement of India. So we have requested the government that we should be allowed to export PPE garments. Because so the government has lifted the ban, but some kind of a restriction, they said 50 lakh pieces immediately they allow. Once we fulfill the 50 lakh pieces, then again the things will, government will come forward, because we are doing sufficiently enough to the domestic market. So the PPE is going to be the future also for the apparel exporters, because apparel exporters is nothing new. Technology is only the fabric and the stitching of some, you need a heat sealing machine and things like that. So we immediately started doing this. So we find that PPE is going to be a huge market in coming years. And also now we are requesting the government, we have started manufacturing that N95 mask. This medical mask. Yeah. Then also 3-ply mask for the to be used in the hospitals and patients and everybody. So this week, mostly, they will allow this export of mask of N95 and 3-ply mask. So this huge opportunity we are doing it. So this is as a COVID thing. But after COVID, now see the mask and PPE are going on. That is one part of it. Then in our APC now we started talking to we had two big Investment India webinar with the internationally. So there our government of India and the state government of India were all participated. So we invited the investors to come down to India, especially for on the processing houses for the fabric technology. So we could feel that a lot of people are interested in it, and there are going to be a good fabric units is going to come to India now. As I said, fiber and the yarn. So these are the steps we have taken, and we are finding it very positive now.
Well, thank you very much for that elaborate answer, and it's clear that you've taken a lot of steps and done a lot of work, and it's interesting to see how the fashion industry is able to make quick adjustments to be adaptive to the demand.
Yeah.
And how your members have also made that switch sometimes to the PPE and really quickly been able to increase the exports, while at the same time continuing your strategy of investments in upstream industry. So that's good to hear. Another aspect that we all notice, as is witnessed by what we are doing now, we are having a digital conference, is the digitization of the industry and the acceleration of that during this crisis. What is AEPC's work or vision on the digitization for the industry?
See, as soon as this COVID crisis come, as you said, now technology only will help us out. So virtual marketing and virtual fairs are the future now. So what we have done now, like I should thank the 4 sources. They approached us for this international fair, and we circulate to our members, and also our members are going to participate in this fair. Quite members are interested in participate. So this is again, I can say that AEPC members, for them, it's the first time to participate in international virtual fair. So that's what I said. I appreciate and thank 4 sources for this. And inside the AEPC also now, see we are going to have develop a virtual platform in AEPC. Not only participating in the fair, it will be in the round year business, because our AEPC website will be created for a virtual fair. The exhibitors or manufacturers will be exhibiting around the year, and whenever there is a fair, we will have a exclusive AEPC will be participating. Now, for example, now we are preparing ourselves to participate in Magic. They say it may happen in the end of September in Las Vegas. So we are preparing for that. And very soon that even in Japan, they are going to have this virtual fair. So AEPC will participate as a virtual platform created by us, will participate. And again, Pure London, there also, we are going to participate as a virtual fair. See, the virtual fair is, one thing is good that it's immediately shown, immediately our fashion, everything is done, shown. But whatever it is, you know that feeling of fabric, feeling of garment is important. So simultaneously, we told Magic and also in Pure London exhibit that who is arranging the exhibitions, that have a virtual come practical showrooms also, so that we will show our product through virtual marketing and virtual fair, but feeling of the fabric can be exhibited, because they said that in Las Vegas the buyer are going to visit. So the buyers, important buyers visit, then they can feel the fabric, and they can also say that along with this fabric they can match the garment which you are showing. So simultaneously we are taking that steps also. all these things are happening, but again, our exhibitors or manufacturer exporters are little afraid that their samples will be copied by all the competitors. But there also we are working with the IT persons that how we can protect our copying of the samples. So there is a for everything that the technology helps us out. So we are working on the technology so that our producers or our exporters samples will be protected. Only the buyer who are interested, they'll be can approach this. So we are doing all this precautionary method also. So these are the steps as the virtual marketing we have to do. We have started doing this, and as I said, that post source is going to be the testing place for us because what are the issues and what are the problems we are going to face it, then it is easy for future for us to plan the virtual platform.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And of course, it's the start of a journey for many of us. So the virtual fairs will, as you, I think, correctly noted, intellectual property concerns. There are other concerns that will come up automatically. Those discussions when people start to engage and use the tools, and then it's up to organizations like ours to deal with that collectively. So that's good. Maybe the world of the fairs will look a little bit like the world of the retailers, where multi-channel is the solution. So it's never only physical or only digital. It's very often a combination that works best. So we will see where the future brings us, but it's good to hear that from you. So I'm coming to my last question, and going to the sort of macro level again. There will be changes in sourcing structure globally. Some were already going on, some maybe strengthened or changed by the COVID-19 situation. What do you think will happen, and what do you think will be the effect or the opportunities for India?
So the thing is, I find this crisis became an opportunity for India.
Okay.
I could speak to the buyers internationally as a chairman of APC and as a exporter myself. Now there is a good positive sentiment towards India. I don't want to talk about anti-sentiment, but positive sentiment towards India that yes, now we want to buy more from India. So that sentiment is going to help India exporters to grow. And also, as I said, our plan of diversifying into the man-made fiber will also help us out, especially that sportswear, activewear, where we are going to use the proper technology and performance fabric and things like that. So the future is, it looks bright for India because, as I said, the positive sentiment will help India. And India is one country that we have all raw material strength, whether it's a cotton or a polyester or viscose. We don't have to import the yarn or import fiber or anything. We have self-sufficient. So we can utilize our sources and with just the improvement of processing and other things. So I'm very sure that India will have a greater advantage than other countries because of the positive sentiment shown by the buyers internationally. Another thing we started with the government of India that please let us go for a free trade agreement with the Europe, UK, and USA. And also, because Canada was the third largest country before the 10 years back, but they got some countries got LDN status, then they started exporting to Canada. So there, Canada and Australia also. Australia is a huge. It's not a huge market, but the market is
good.
Good. So there we are requesting the government because our Honorable Prime Minister of India, when he went to Australia and Canada, I also was there in the Canada when our Honorable Minister visited. They started the dialogue for CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. So we requested that they should start dialogue for CEPA with Canada and Australia. And UK now it's a separate country. You do not have the 27 countries to go in for FTA. And we are requested this. And already yesterday, our Honorable Prime Minister started the huge conference with the EU. There, both the EU Commissioner and our Honorable Prime Minister agreed to just go through this FTA, what was left out so far. So that FTA comes, it's a great advantage for India. And, you know, America is now for very positive towards India. So again, our Honorable Commerce Minister and Commerce Minister in USA, Mr. Ross and Mr. Piyush Goyal started the dialogue for the FTA separately. So these are the positive points towards India now. And we told the government, if you all do this, definitely our export from India will be doubled in 3 years.
Okay.
So APC is doing everything possible. Here I have a big request through your association and also the buyer who is going to visit this fair, that please tell all your governments, we want to buy from India because we have a positive sentiment towards India, and you please start the dialogue for FTA or CEPA, whatever the possible way, so that we can buy the goods from India without paying the duty, and this will help us Indian exporters. So this is my request from my as a chairman of APC through you and through this interview, that all the buyers should help us out to come to FTA with India. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shaktivel. And I think this is the good platform to extend such a request, such a wish. I think most people have a shared purpose there and a shared goal. Reducing barriers to trade helps our global supply chains in most cases, and especially now where flexibility and adaptability is so important. Less trade barriers, more complete supply chain in the country, all seem to be the right approaches to this. So yes, well, we have come to the end of the interview. I would like to thank you very much, also on behalf of the listeners that we have now, for giving very good insight into the way India is dealing with export promotion of the apparel industry, and also with this crisis and the combination of that. And I would like to wish you good luck, good strength in working with and in boosting the exports of the Indian apparel industry. Thank you very much.
First of all, I thank 4Sources and IFA for giving this opportunity. And I wish all the buyers who is going to visit this fair all success. And once again, I request the buyers, please listen to my request and help us out to do more business with your countries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.